my dear children, I welcome you all for the Gurugedara educational program. I hope you are living safe and healthy life at your home. Today we are going to learn another interesting and important lesson in our grade 8 science syllabus. This is the last lesson in your science textbook, Unit 15, Natural Disasters, Drought and Floods. Our competency level for this lesson is investigates the scientific basis for climatic changes related to natural disaster. So, we must learn about the scientific basis for climatic changes responsible for natural disasters. After learning this lesson, you will be able to describe the causes for natural disasters. Here, you will be able to describe the natural causes as well as human activities cause natural disasters. And then we will be able to use various models to demonstrate the scientific basis of natural disasters. By using various models, we can learn about the scientific basis for natural disasters. And also you will be able to accept the importance of taking precautions to minimize the damages caused by natural disasters. Since natural disasters are naturally occurring destructive incidents, we must identify the importance of taking precaution to minimize the damage caused by them. And also you will be able to appreciate the importance of communication to minimize the damages caused by natural disasters, because better communication is very important to minimize the damages of natural disasters. Now, we are going to learn what are natural disasters, or the definition for the term natural disasters. Naturally occurring destructive incidents without the mediation of man causing harm to human lives, property, environment and economy is known as natural disasters. So, you must remember that natural disasters are naturally occurring destructive incidents, and also they take place without the mediation of man. So, we can't prevent them, and also they can cause harm to human lives, their property, environment and economy. So, you can see on the screen there are some examples for those natural disasters: drought, forest fires, cyclones, earthquakes, floods, lightning, landslides, tornado. Those are some examples for natural disasters. And then we are going to learn about reasons for natural disasters. Under that, there are three main natural reasons. The first one is weather and climatic changes. Actually, this is the main reason for most of natural disasters. Then changes occurring at the interior of the earth. Interior means the inner part of the earth or the inside of the earth. The third one is changes in the biosphere. Biosphere is the area of the planet where organisms live, including ground and air. So, those are the three main natural reasons for natural disasters. And you must remember that human activities affect to increase the intensity of natural disasters. In this lesson, we are going to learn about natural disasters that affect Sri Lanka. Under that, in this lesson, we are going to learn about two main natural disasters that affect Sri Lanka out of these four natural disasters. They are drought and floods, and landslides, lightning and thundering is also there, but in this lesson we are going to learn about drought and floods. So, our first topic, or the first natural disaster that we are going to learn about is drought. Before learning about drought, now we are going to watch a video about drought. Drought is a silent disaster. It starts slowly and develops slowly. You can see cracks on the ground due to the lack of rain. Animals die without water. Many fields badly affected due to the drought, especially fields such as agriculture affects badly. Weather and climatic changes is the main reason for drought. Under normal atmospheric conditions, water evaporates to form air clouds. But under high pressure atmospheric conditions, these clouds vanish up in the air to result lack of rainfall. Usually at the beginning of a drought, people waste water for various purposes such as agriculture. In urban areas, people waste water for their entertainment also. This results the condition to become worse. Plants withering off, soil erodes as dusty clouds, forest fires spread rapidly. Drought causes pressure on the environment, also on people. People migrate with their belongings. Since drought is a natural disaster, we can't prevent that, but we can minimize the damage by taking necessary precautions to face it. Now, we have watched a video about drought. Now, we are going to see the definition about drought. Drought is a long term decrease of rainfall due to the change of the pattern of rainfall. So, drought occurs as long term decrease of rainfall. This can happen due to the change in the rainfall pattern. Now, we are going to learn about reasons for drought. There are two main reasons for drought. The first one is natural causes and the second one is human activities. Now, we will see what are the natural causes for drought. Under that, we are going to learn about three natural causes for drought. The first one is lack of timely monsoon winds, and the second one is dry air currents. Third one is the phenomenon of El Nino. Now, we are going to learn about these three natural causes. Under the first natural cause, as I told you, lack of timely monsoon wind. Usually, Sri Lanka experiences three types of methods of rainfall. They are southwest monsoon, northeast monsoon, convectional intermonsoonal rain. By southwest monsoon, we get rainfall from May to September to the wet zone of our country. And also from northeast monsoon, we receive rainfall from November to February to our dry zone. And from convectional or intermonsoonal rain, we receive rainfall from March to April and from September to October to all regions of our country. So, this is the normal rainfall pattern we experience during a year. In this Sri Lankan map, you can also see the rainfall pattern. By northeast monsoon, dry zone of the country receive rainfall, and by southwest monsoon, wet zone of the country receive rainfall. Due to the change in the timely occurring monsoon winds, this rainfall pattern can change. So, that results lack of rainfall to the country for a long period of time to result a drought. So, that is the first natural reason for drought in our country. As the second reason, we can learn about dry air currents. Under normal atmospheric conditions, you know, plants absorb water from ground and they evaporate water as water vapor during transpiration. So, this is the process known as transpiration. But when dry air currents are present in the atmosphere, this transpiration rate increases. So, as a result of that, the absorption of groundwater from the soil increases also. So, that will reduce the groundwater level, and also water fountains can dry up. So, dry air currents increase the rate of transpiration. As a result of that, groundwater level will decrease. You can see in this diagram water absorbed by root during transpiration, and also water travels up through plant. Then that water vapor lost from leaf pores in transpiration to the atmosphere. This is the normal process of transpiration, but the rate of this process can increase due to the dry air currents. So, this can cause the water level, groundwater level to decrease. As the third reason, we can discuss about the phenomenon of El Nino. I think this is a new term for you, new scientific term. Phenomenon of El Nino is the change of normal circulation pattern of global air currents and oceanic water currents due to the increase of temperature of the surface in the Pacific Ocean. So, due to the increase in the temperature of the Pacific Ocean, we experience the phenomenon of El Nino. You can see in this diagram, during a normal year, the oceanic currents and wind currents to a certain direction, but during an El Nino year, that direction takes place to opposite. So, as a result of that, again the timely occurring monsoon winds can change. So, as I told you, the change of these timely occurring monsoon winds can cause lack of rainfall. So, that is the third reason for drought. Now, we are going to learn about some human activities that cause drought. The first one is irregular and unwanted constructions, irregular water usage, irregular soil usage, deforestation, release of greenhouse gases. So, we are going to learn about these activities one by one. Irregular and unwanted constructions. Due to the irregular and unwanted constructions, decrease of seepage of rainwater can happen. So, this reduces the water retention capacity of the in the soil. So, that can cause drought. You must remember here, this human activity actually increases the intensity of the drought. So, irregular and unwanted construction increase the intensity of the drought. As the second one, irregular water usage, especially during the period of drought. Wastage or overusage of water can result lack of water during the period of droughts. So, this also increases the intensity of the drought. As the third reason or third human activity which cause drought, we can learn about irregular soil usage. Irregular soil usage, especially during agriculture, increases soil erosion. This eroded soil can deposit in the bottoms of water reservoirs. So, this will reduce the water retention capacity of these water reservoirs. So, that also results lack of water during the drought period. As the fourth reason or fourth human activity which responsible for drought, we can learn about deforestation. Deforestation is actually removing the forest cover. By removing the forest cover, water cycle can be affected. So, that results the change of rainfall pattern or lack of rainfall to cause drought. As the fifth reason, we can say release of greenhouse gases. As you know, greenhouse gases such as carbon dioxide can increase the temperature of the atmosphere due to various human activities such as burning fossil fuels. Man emit these greenhouse gases to the environment. So, that can increase the temperature of the atmosphere. That again can change the intermonsoonal winds and rainfall patterns to cause drought. And after that, we are going to learn about influences of drought. Drought basically affects the environment, but as a result of that, socio-economic problems can also arise. Now, we are going to learn about some fields which affect by drought. Under that, we are going to learn about 6 fields that affected by drought. Health, energy, agriculture, forest, water and soil are some fields which affected by the drought. If we take the field health, various communicable and non-communicable diseases can spread during the period of drought to human, animals and to plants also. As the second field, if we take energy, as you know, during the period of drought, water retention capacity of water reservoirs can be reduced. So, that can be affected to the hydropower generation. So, the production of energy can reduce during the period of drought. And as the third field, if we take agriculture, destruction of crops and reduction of their harvest can occur due to the lack of water for crops. Forest, if you take forest as our fourth field, destruction of forest can occur due to drought, and also forest fires can start during drought periods. Water, that is another field. Reduction of groundwater level and dry out of water fountains can occur during drought to result lack of water. Soil, soil erosion and infertility of soil occurs due to the reduction of groundwater level in the soil. During drought, groundwater level reduces to result soil erosion and soil infertility. Now, we are going to talk about drought disaster management. Drought disaster management must be done under 3 steps. Those steps are actually very important for all disaster management. Now, here we are going to learn how to apply these management steps for drought disaster management. The first one is readiness or preparedness to face the disaster. The second one is mitigation of the damages caused by the disaster. And the third one is adaptation to live with the disaster. Under that drought management steps, we can take several measures to manage drought. As a first one, avoiding the wastage and pollution of water, especially during the period of drought. And the second one, planning agricultural activities with the view of conservation of water. As you can see on the picture, drip irrigation method is very useful method during drought period to conserve water in agricultural practices. As a third step or third measure, we can say cultivating drought resistant or drought tolerant crops. So, these crops can grow during drought period without any problem. So, examples for such crops are some types of melons, beans, peas, chilies. So, we have to select the variety, drought tolerant variety or the species to cultivate during the period of drought. So, that will help to protect our harvest. And as the fourth step, mulching. This is the covering of the ground near the plant to prevent the excess evaporation of water from the soil. So, as you can see in this picture, the coverage of ground near the plant reduces the evaporation of water. Increase the capacity of water reservoirs. This can be done by digging water reservoirs to increase their water retention capacity. So, we can use that water for our various activities. Usage of methods to collect rainwater. If we can collect rainwater during rainy periods, we can use them during the drought period. Reforestation, growing forest in cleared areas, that helps to maintain the water cycle. As you know, water cycle is very important to get rain. So, growing forest in cleared areas is an important step to prevent drought. And as the last step, we can use alternative methods for power generation. As I told you before, power generation, especially hydropower generation, can affected by drought. So, if we can use alternative methods to generate power such as solar panels and coal power stations, we can generate energy during the period of drought. And as the second natural disaster which affect Sri Lanka, we can learn about floods. Before learning about floods, again we are going to watch a video regarding floods. Inundation of usually uninundating area due to heavy rainfall cause floods. Floods can damage human lives as well as to their properties. Evacuation of people from partially inundated areas is very important to save their lives. Since floods are natural disasters, we cannot prevent them, but by taking necessary precautions to minimize the damages, we can face successfully to this disaster. Now, we are going to learn about floods and the definition for the term floods. Inundation of a usually uninundating area due to heavy rainfalls in a short period of time results floods. When we are talking about floods, there are two types of floods. Floods due to overflowing and instantaneous floods. Floods due to overflowing takes place due to the overflowing of rivers and other waterways, and instantaneous floods results due to the blockage of water drainage systems, especially in urban areas. And also we have to learn about 4 reasons for floods. The first natural reason is high rainfalls. Actually, this is the main reason for floods. High rainfalls in a short period of time can result floods due to the overflowing of water reservoirs. As the second reason for floods, we can say deforestation. During deforestation, people remove forest coverage. That increases the soil erosion. This eroded soil can deposit at the bottoms of lakes to reduce the water retention capacity of these water reservoirs. So, during a heavy rainfall, these water reservoirs can overflow to cause floods. And the third reason is reduction of the capacity of reservoirs. That also happens due to the deposition of eroded soil and also due to the deposition of unwanted materials such as garbage. The reduction of capacity of reservoirs can happen to cause floods during rainy seasons. And as the next reason, irregular construction work. Irregular construction work also reduces the absorption of rainwater to the ground, and also that can cause soil erosion to reduce the water retention capacity of water reservoirs, and also blocking of water drainage systems. This happens especially in urban areas. During the blockage of water drainage systems, urban areas can subject to flooding, and irregular land use and land filling. Irregular land use again can result soil erosion and also the reduction of seepage of rainwater to the ground, and also land filling. When we are talking about land filling, we must pay our attention for marshy lands, because marshy lands, they act as a sponge to absorb rainwater. So, by filling marshy lands, rainwater collects on the ground without absorption. So, that will cause flood. And then we have to talk about influences due to floods. Here, the main influence due to flood is loss of lives. This happens basically due to the poor communication and also lack of preparedness. And the second influence is failure power supply, transportation and public services. Those fields can affected badly due to floods and cause many problems for the day-to-day life of human. And next influence, damage to houses, property and roads. This can happen during a flood. Then the next one is spread of communicable diseases. Communicable diseases such as skin infections, diseases related to digestive system can spread easily during the period of flood. And then we are going to talk about flood disaster management. Flood disaster management also has 3 steps: readiness or preparedness to face the disaster, mitigation of the damages caused by the disaster, adaptation to live with the disaster. So, these 3 steps are very important in flood disaster management. Management of flood disaster under these 3 steps will prevent the unwanted damages caused by floods. Under that flood disaster management steps, we can take following measures for flood disaster management. The first one is refraining from building houses in flooded areas. Before building houses in flooded areas, we can refer the relevant authorities to get their advices. Otherwise, we have to face so many difficulties during a periods of floods to save our property and to save our lives. As the second flood disaster management step, leaving partially inundated houses. This is very important to save our lives during floods. Evacuation of people from partially inundated areas is very important. This should be carried out by relevant authorities to save the lives of people. And also disconnecting the electricity supply of the houses and refraining from using electrical items, because during floods these electricity supply ways and electric items can be damaged by water, so overflowing water. So, it is very dangerous to work with them during floods. And also the next one is having identified a base to keep goods securely, because we have valuable items at our home. So, we must protect them. So, we have to identify, before the flood we have to identify a secure place to keep these goods securely. And also having identified an elevated place to reach for security. When flood starts, we have to identify an elevated place such as a temple in a village, that is also an elevated place. So, we can identify such place for our security before the flood. And also under the flood disaster management, the preparation of disaster kit is very important. This disaster kit must consist of first aids, necessary medicines, dry food items, torch batteries, few clothes, portable water bottles. So, with that items we can prepare a disaster kit. This must be also done before the flood. So, we can face to the disaster without any damage. And also having prepared with a battery powered radio. Nowadays we can use our mobile phones also for this purpose, because communication with relevant authorities is very important during flooding to get important messages, especially weather forecasting. So, for that purpose we must keep a battery powered radio with us, and also refraining from walking through fast flowing water. This is also for save our lives, refraining from walking through fast flowing water, and also refraining from driving vehicles across flooded area, because this is also can cause unwanted problems to human lives as well as to their properties. So, you must refrain from walking from driving vehicles across flooded areas. Now, before the summary, I can say you about some important questions from this lesson. Questions such as the reasons for natural disaster. So, you must remember that reasons for natural disasters we can divide them into two types. The first one is natural reasons and also the second one is human activities. So, when answering questions you must remember that there are two main reasons for natural disasters such as drought and floods. And also you must remember the natural disaster management steps, because natural disaster management must be done under 3 steps: preparedness, mitigation and adaptation. So, for questions you can get about this natural disaster management steps. And also when answering questions, you must remember how to minimize the damages caused by natural disasters. The main aim of this lesson is to minimize the damages caused by natural disasters. So, you will get questions from that side. And also, if you take a look at the summary, you can see drought and floods are two of main natural disasters that affect Sri Lanka. So, we learned about those two natural disasters in this lesson. And also, as I told you, natural reasons as well as human activities influence the occurrence of drought and floods. Because as I told you, natural disasters are unavoidable incidents. They occur without the mediation of man. So, natural reasons are the main reason for natural disasters. But you must remember, human activities can also increase the intensity of natural disaster. So, as human beings, we have a big responsibility to prevent those unwanted activities to increase the natural disasters. And also, the harms caused by drought and floods can be minimized by taking necessary precautions, because by taking necessary precautions, we can prevent unwanted harmful effects of these natural disasters. For that, we must keep our communication with the relevant authorities, and we must prepare to face the disaster, and also we must know how to live with this disaster. That is the adaptation to live with disaster. So, for that we have to prepare so many things, so many important things before the disaster. And also, natural disaster management can be effectively done under 3 steps: readiness to face the disaster, and mitigation of the damages caused by the disaster, and adaptation to live with the disaster is very important when we are facing to natural disasters. So, as an activities related to this lesson, you can make a booklet regarding natural disaster during this period. For that, you can find more information from social media, and you can prepare a booklet on natural disasters. When doing such activities, you must pay your attention basically for the reasons for natural disasters, and also you must know their influences, because they are very important to prevent the damage of natural disasters. And also you must learn about the drought and flood management steps. After understanding those drought and flood management steps, you can make articles regarding those management steps, because they can be useful for many people to take protective methods during this disaster management. And also you must pay your attention for the better communication regarding natural disasters. So, you can prepare your booklet under the topic how we must communicate with others and with relevant authorities during natural disaster management. Especially you can pay your attention for floods and drought. And also you can make posters to give messages about natural disasters as an activity. So, you can use beautiful drawings and beautiful pictures, and you can make it as an attractive poster to give the message to people about natural disaster. In this time period, you can make it leisurely with the help of your parents and also your relatives. So, you can make such poster to give knowledge about natural disasters. And you can do the exercises in your textbook. In that exercises, you will get first 2 questions related to this topic, floods and drought. So, you can answer to these questions also. I think you have learned an important facts regarding natural disaster. So, I think you can learn many more things also about these disasters, and also you can watch this program by channel NIE YouTube channel. You can subscribe that channel also to watch it again and again to improve your knowledge, and I hope you have enjoyed this lesson. Till we meet again, goodbye.